Welcome back, everybody. This is Night Flight. I'm Judith Koba, and today Ole Dammegard is back with us. His website is lightonconspiracies.com. He has written many books. He also is a public speaker. I'm very happy to see him. So, Ole, welcome back.
Thank you so much, Judith. It's good to see you.
So, how are you doing? How are you holding up during these crazy days?
I am absolutely exhausted, happy, worried, confused, and working very hard. I've just finished a totally sold-out tour here in Sweden, which is the first time ever. It's exploding here in Sweden, the awareness, thanks to this alleged virus. So it's been mind-blowingly beautiful. Hundreds and hundreds of incredible meetings. I always walk around, I say hello and shake hands with every single one that comes to these things, and now we're up in many hundreds. So it's been an absolutely fantastic experience. And then after that, without knowing it, I did some interviews in Copenhagen, and while there I was interviewed by a former banker called Mads Palsvig, who has become a major whistleblower and one of the strong forces in Denmark. And so he invited me to Stockholm after I finished my tour, because an organization that I was not aware of, the World Freedom Alliance, was going to meet there. So I was invited there, and so in Stockholm, I went to this dinner, and I met these incredible people, doctors, lawyers, especially doctors, that was just standing up from many different countries, and just standing up saying, listen, we will make anyone personally responsible for this COVID black op operation, not black op, but psychological operation that is holding the world as hostage, and it's also killing a lot of people. And I mean, I didn't know these guys before. These are doctors, and that is so not my area. But I came to this restaurant in Stockholm, and one of the people there that was saying hello to was a doctor by the name of Dolores Cahill from Ireland. Oh my God, Judith. My God, not often do I meet real heroes. I mean, this woman is mind-blowing, and with a heart the size of Manhattan. I mean, I was so taken in by her story, her heart, it's like, I think I met, in my life, there's been like 2 or 3 turning points when it comes to meeting people. My Raj Yoga teacher, Nelly Chelleram, that was a massive one. And then I met a woman that introduced me to an incredible island project that we are part of. That was also like this, totally took me deep, deep, deep. And then Dolores Cahill, who I didn't even know existed. But apparently, according to herself, she's been following me for years and are using all kinds of weird expressions that I use. I had no idea. And we ended up like twins. It was like, it was unbelievable. And this is one brave woman, I tell you. My God.
Is she, does she have a little bit curly hair and glasses?
Yeah,
I know. She's also a member of the World Doctors Alliance.
Yeah, that's her.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and because Dr. Heiko Schöning here from Germany, he uploaded videos, and I have one of them on my channel.
No, I met Dr. Heiko was there as well, and there were several other doctors from Holland, Germany, I think England. There was a lawyer, a barrister from Ireland. There was Swedish doctor, Mikael Nordfors. There was, many of them. I'm sorry, I did not recognize them. I don't know their names. But we had Robert. There was also this public meeting in the center of Stockholm that apparently, without permission, I didn't know. And I was invited as one of the speakers, which was not, it was a new thing for me. I'm not very used to speaking in front of like crowds like that. So, that as well. I mean, there was, according to the mainstream media, there was about 100 people. I don't know, but 100 there was not. There was like, I would say maybe between 500 and 800 people, and it was just beautiful. And then while we were speaking, the police came in vans, and then the speaker Mikael Lodfors, while we were doing this whole thing, he just said to the crowd, would you mind assisting us before they arrest us? Could you just please move in between us? So the whole crowd just moved in between us and the police just stood there in the background and listened. I thought that was so beautiful. Totally, there was not a violent word, there was no anger, there was no nothing. You just moved a body wall over there saying, listen, thank you, but no thank you. You work for us, so if you could please step back. And no, it was, but there was one thing that was a bit worrying. After I came home that night, I was sent some photos. A man in the crowd had been taking photos of vehicles driving around the area while we were doing this whole thing. And there was this black pickup truck with some very weird like camera scanners on top of the car. It looked a little bit of like Google cars, but a different type of and like something sensors of some kind. So he took photos of this car. He checked with the license plates, and they belonged to a Swedish construction company. So he called that company, and then I don't know really how he did it, but he found out the ownership, and the ownership was connected to a company called, let me just see if I got the name here. A company called Nuova Tech, Nuova Tech. On LinkedIn, this guy, the owner, David Sika, he only has 94 contacts. I don't believe that at all, because they've just created what they call an effective weapon against COVID-19. The thing that I think it's some kind of app, and it says that in seconds, pandemic cam, this camera can identify a wide range of symptoms to indicate infection. With unlimited scans and results appearing in real time, there will be no more waiting for labs which are struggling for resources and technicians. So anyway, that was the guy, I think the owner of this construction company, I believe his name was Christopher Jennert, and he then was connected to this company called Nuovo Tech, who are working with something called, so this guy that was that took the photos, he contacted the company and just said, I saw a super cool vehicle driving around, tickling the ego of these people. What is it? And the owner said, it's a vehicle that is used to create digital twins. I was like, what? Digital twins? But he said it was not activated this day when they were driving around there. Okay, so I looked into digital twins, and it's like where they're connected to the fourth industrial revolution, which is Davos in Switzerland, which is the New World Order on steroids. And they're using this technology to create like digital twin images of buildings of all kinds, but also they're not talking about it, but in their logos and everything, it's humans that they're doing digital twins of. And then I was contacted more or less at the same time by, it was actually my tour organizer, Johnny Cash, who was, he said he had just seen a Swedish spy thriller called, it's a Swedish spy called Carl Hamilton. He's quite famous internationally. This is a long series of movies, but often you will find the real truth in movies and fantasy world in mainstream media. So the movies are important to watch. And in one of the latest or the latest episode of this thing, they're showing how they are these, how shall I say, intelligence agencies created a terror attack where they were filming actors running around, you know, as terrorists. But what they had like green hoods on, like green screen hoods on, with X's marking the eyes. So they were filming. So the terrorists were doing all of these things, and then in real time, they show how they in real time can replace. Through green screen, they can put any kind of face on it, you know, Donald Trump, my face, whatever, as a terrorist running around shooting people.
Yeah.
And so I just felt, what the hell was that vehicle doing there while I was talking and other people were talking? Do you know, like, this image suddenly appear throwing a bomb at the Vatican or something? Do you know, like, this is scary, scary technology.
Yeah.
So a bit worrisome. Don't trust what nowadays, where you cannot trust what you see. It used to be like that, but you cannot anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Even with the deep fakes, where they can make people say whatever they want. And you just have to have a very precise eye to spot it, that there's something fishy going on. Yeah.
No, they find you the ID, the audio ID of your voice. So my voice will be at a certain frequency and with a certain pattern, and then they can just take whatever you say and then connect it with my voice ID, and then when you say something, it will sound like if I said it. And then if we change the images as well, I mean, I think this is one of the things with Donald Trump, that he's one day saying that and then half an hour later saying that. I think these forces are struggling with each other, and we don't know what is what. You know, we have no idea. We're being played big time.
Yeah. I remember when you talked to us about these terror attacks that you had been expecting, and then you had like 72 hours or something, or 36 or whatever it was. And you alerted the public as much as possible. And then, of course, all these attacks did not happen, thank goodness. And
thank goodness.
But when I heard that one attack in Lebanon, I had to think of you, and I asked myself if that is part of the global terror tour.
Okay, so first it was 39 coordinated attacks. That was it seemed like through NATO and the United Nations, they were planned to go off at the same time as the COVID. The whole idea seems to have been that the operation, the whole COVID thing, all of that was planned to go off on October the 23rd and 24th, 2019. October the 24th being the United Nations Day. And it seems like the idea was to carry out 39 coordinated terror attacks, alleged terror attacks in Europe. They would go off in Manchester and London, where the Brexit referendum was going on, you know, so that could have just totally knocked out that whole process and pushed people into lockdown and the whole thing that we've seen, and stopped the whole political process of Brexit, because they don't want anyone to leave this criminal organization, this syndicate. So it was Manchester and London in the UK, with the Brexit referendum going on. Then it was in Paris, these attacks were planned. There we have the Yellow Vest movement, same problem, same solution. In Barcelona, Catalonia is trying to free itself, same problem, same solution. And then Sweden, there were two drills planned with 1,600 crisis actors, 1,600 crisis actors, according to the official website, where there was one water power plant and one nuclear power plant that I think would be part of this, where they would at least send out reports that they were radioactive, downfall, this whole thing. The whole idea would be to create mayhem. That's the name of the game. And then at the same time, there was in Albania and Croatia, there was a planned NATO exercise with an earthquake, which they can nowadays create through HAARP technology and chemtrailings. So all of that. And then there was the port of Rotterdam. And I didn't understand why Rotterdam, but it seems like I was told by a naval officer that Rotterdam is the main import for food to Europe. So if you knock out the port, you can create famine in Europe within a week or so.
Mm.
So all of that at the same time being planned. This was planned to go off 5 days after the so-called Event 201 in New York, where they did a massive drill where they went through everything that we then experienced from January the 1st and onwards. So at the same time, also as this was going down, we had the World Military Games in Wuhan, of all places, exact where they said that the virus was released or escaped or whatever. And soldiers from more than 104 nations, I believe it was. There was more than 10,000 soldiers in Wuhan at that time. So I believe that the plan, the Corona, COVID, New Year World Order takeover plan, was to, on October the 23rd and 24th, let 39 attacks take place, and 39 coordinated attacks with, according to their words, the duration of 36 hours. So 39 attacks. Okay, how many is that? That is a hell of a lot of mayhem. If you have aimed it in all different, like I'm sure some of it would be aimed at the NATO headquarters so that they would be able to defend themselves. The United Nations, all kinds of government buildings, all kinds of that. So 39 attacks, that is boom, 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 and boom. That is a lot of chaos created there. And that would give these dark forces the excuse for complete lockdown, martial law, because of the danger that these terrorist groups had been communicating through social media like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, you name it, that they would, for our protection, shut everything down and then afterwards open up again. But this time it would be a commercial version of the internet where they would decide what we would be able to see, and we would pay them for the bonus of having freedom. So what seemed to have happened is that there was a crisis meeting on the 23rd of October in Brussels, which is the headquarters of NATO, where all the defense ministers of NATO were called into this thing. And I'm guessing now, but when you look at the what actually happened these days, it seems that this is what happened, that they decided, oh my God, more than 200,000 people have been warned, have seen this warning, because I sent this warning out everywhere saying, please be aware. We had, just like you said, 25 or 40, 30 hours or whatever before. It was just like a divine, I don't know how I managed to stumble over this. Somebody sent me this, somebody sent me something, and suddenly, boom, it just fitted in. Mm. And so I believe that the idea was for all of these soldiers to be in Wuhan, 10,000 soldiers. Then you create absolute mayhem in Europe. Then so that all of these soldiers, more than 10,000 soldiers, would be sent back to their home countries to help with this thing, bringing the virus, so that within 24 hours, this virus would be spread to more than 100 nations, But because of fantastic people like yourself who helped spread the awareness about this plan very, very fast, it seems like at least 50% of this plan was stopped. And the day after, all Israeli embassies closed globally. What the hell was that? And then there was an article on the internet on a main, very well-respected website where they talked about NATO near implosion. And then Vice President Mike Pence and the US Secretary of Defense was called back mid-air in the Middle East to a crisis meeting in the US. So what was going on? I mean, all of that was at the same time. And then Donald Trump stepped forward and said, we're so happy we managed to kill the ISIS leader al-Baghdadi. Well, again. I would say, well done, Donald. That was the fourth time you were saying the same thing. So was that some kind of a diversion away from all of this? But it seems like they were in this crisis meeting in Brussels that they felt like we need to go stealth here for a while until this blows over. So they postponed the whole thing. They couldn't do the chaos anymore. So instead, they thought, okay, the only thing we got left is the virus. The virus has not been exposed. So what we'll do is we'll keep a low profile. And then when people are occupied with other stuff like Christmas and New Year's Eve, and are drunk and Happy New Year to you, that whole thing, we unleash the power of the beast. So on all dates, late December the 31st, the first case of COVID appeared. And then from January the 1st, boom, the whole thing was activated. And I believe there's so many weird details in this whole unleashing of this virus, empty hospitals. There's so many weirds. I think that is not because they're amateurs and not intelligent. I think it's because 50% of the whole thing has been taken away from them. We took it away. We took 50% of the plan out of their hands. So they couldn't do it. They just couldn't do it. And so I believe that had this happened, oh my God, this world would have looked totally different.
Yeah.
So, Judith, interesting times we live in.
Yeah, the Chinese curse. May you live in interesting times.
That we do. It is interesting. Whatever you say, it's not boring.
Yeah. Yeah, we had similar experiences with the media, of course. Here in Germany, August 1st, we had 1.3 million in the streets in Berlin. And and August 28th, the Berlin Senator for Interior tried to make the next demonstration not happen. I'm forbidding it, but the courts overruled it. And so it took place, 2 million people showed up.
Wow.
And the next big one is planned for this Saturday, 7/7 in Leipzig.
Wow.
The idea behind 7th of November, sorry.
7/11.
Yeah. The idea behind this is that when the wall came down, that in Leipzig was one of the biggest demonstrations ever during that time, and 2 days later, the German Democratic Republic was history. I get where the organizers and the people are coming from, and I'm not saying this to discourage anybody. But at the same time, I'm pretty aware of the fact that if there hadn't been geopolitical reasons to dismantle the German Democratic Republic together with the Soviet Union and everything that was connected to it, I think it would not have fallen that easily. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you mean the wall?
Yeah.
No, there was a very clear agenda behind that.
Yeah.
It was not the people. The people were putting the fire under, activating it maybe, but there was a very clear, no, that was not, yeah, hey, we did it. There was, I'm sorry, it's wonderful that it happened in many ways, but I mean, I met quite a few people from East Germany who just felt that it would be better to put the wall back up, that they had a better, no, they say that, and I think that's very sad, because they say that they're being treated very badly and like almost sometimes like apartheid. I'm not sure if that is true, but anyway, the same people that arranged that and in Trafalgar Square in London were the people that arranged here in Stockholm as well. So many people were, like the speaker before me was Robert Kennedy Jr.
we had him in Berlin as well.
I know, it's the exact same thing. And David Icke was there, the same organizer, Fiona Hine. I mean, really brave people. So it was fantastic to get a personal relationship with these very brave, I must say, very brave individuals. And no, it's amazing what is happening, and I love the fact that when people say, "But you must be kidding! What do you mean controlled media? Really?" I say, "Okay, no, it's a very good question, because how do they do it?" I mean, I'm a former reporter. I say former journalist because I'm not proud of that title anymore. I don't know where real journalists are, but okay, so there was like 1.3 million. As far as I know, these are the numbers from the police and the authority, but mainstream media was talking like 200,000 or like 20,000.
They said 17,000 here in Germany.
There you go. So just a few zeros on the wrong. But 17,000, there's a slight difference between 17,000 and 1.3 million. So somewhere in between the real truth is, and I would say, I've seen photos, I would say a lot closer to 1.3. And normally we're told you should trust the police, so why not trust them this time? But when you look in international media, Robert Kennedy Jr.'s uncle, JFK, was in 1961 standing there saying, "Ich bin ein Berliner." That is one of the most famous speeches ever. In 62, his father was there in Berlin as well, giving a talk. And here comes Junior. It doesn't matter if he was just saying, "Once upon a time, there was a fairy tale." Whatever Robert Kennedy would say in that speech, it would be mainstream massive news. And there was not one single word, as far as I know. He was not mentioned anywhere.
Yeah.
That just shows you that something bizarre is going on.
Yeah. Yeah, we will see how that turns out. But I can tell that the system is getting frightened. And here is one little reason why. We have some police officers that quit their jobs. They talked at demonstrations where they didn't precisely quit. They have been suspended because they talked on a right-wing demonstration. So, yeah. And we had a huge protest last weekend in Dresden. And there, one of these police officers, he gave a speech with somebody else. So the two of them are standing on the stage and they are holding each other, and then they are waving at the crowd. And guess what? The police then took them away after they finished their speeches. And then they accused them of, well,
breaking social distancing.
No.
No.
There was a moment when your arm was like a little bit like 45-degree angle, and we accuse you of doing the Hitler salute.
But you know, that is just so funny because you know, the old template, problem, reaction, solution. Like my wife Kim, we were talking about that the other day, and then she had a Freudian slip. You know, she said the wrong thing without thinking about it. She said problem, reaction, fascism. I thought that is brilliant. That is it. Problem, reaction. The solution is always fascism. So the people accusing these guys of like whatever they were doing, oh my God, it's so close. You know, they are the ones just pointing at us. Because it's officially an ugly word, fascism or whatever. But I mean, they stand for that. These dark forces, that is exactly it.
Yeah, but this is so ridiculous. And they mean it. They are very, very serious about this. But on the other hand, it shows you how desperate they are.
They are terrified, Judith. I almost feel sorry for them. They are terrified. Because, you know, like when I've been going on tour earlier on, now it's really taking off big time. Oh, I almost did one of those. But, you know, I used to have have to meet people in people's own home because I get stopped everywhere because apparently I'm right extremist, and or everything I say are shut down because of hate speech and bullying. Okay, hate speech. I don't know if I've ever said a hateful word, but well, let's not go into these minor details. And right extremist, I'm not even interested in politics. I'm not even sure what that means, but apparently I'm one of them. So, but many of these meetings and presentations I've had, it was like ridiculous, like 25, 40 people, 100 maybe, let's go really wild, 125. Why would that even be a problem? It should be a joke. Someone like myself would be like, yeah, right. We're so mighty and so powerful. That is like a mosquito that is scratching me on the back. But they've done everything, including death threats and trying to sabotage everything. And I mean, why is that? They're terrified. They are terrified because the truth, the only thing they is the truth.
Yeah.
And so when someone stands up and are talking the truth and not being fearful, they have problems. They have major problems because there's this thing inside people that we're longing for freedom. We're longing for love and sharing and equality and all. We're being pushed upon us all of these laws and all of these wars and all of these things. That's not human nature. They say it's in all of these wars, well, it's because of human nature. That's absolute bollocks. Human nature, look at we're not like that. We're not designed like that. But the nature of super psychopath, that's war for you. If that's like the mother of some Rothschild said, if my sons stop waging war, there would be world peace. I say, right, you are right on.
Yeah.
So, and now we are in this fantastic situation, and a beautiful cat you have, where millions and millions and millions of people are popping like popcorn, you know, and so they have a major problem here because whatever they do, they just hello again. They just make it worse.
Yeah.
You know, I love it. You know, the reason for social distancing is for AI software to be able. It's connected to facial recognition, and then they unleash the masks. You know, the masks. So suddenly you have a software that is supposed to measure these things, and suddenly you have this. And in Spain, with people with sunshade, so you have like this. Well, good luck with that software. It's going like, I can't find anything. And I heard yesterday, I thought it was so funny. They were doing AI fine tuning technology on a football match here in Sweden, and the software had picked the head of a bald judge and thought it was the ball. So the software was following his bald head, thinking that it was the ball. You know, like, because there is no real intelligence behind these type of softwares. There's okay, next time they might be able to fine tune it so that it will actually hit the ball. But it's like they have major problems. That is why they are, excuse my French, shitting themselves, because when you have such an awakening going on of people that are just saying, hello, this is bizarre. I did not vote for this. I did not say you can use my tax money to do this. I do not want to be a slave. They have a major problem. Yeah. And the magic word in all of this is you don't have to do any violent act. And the only thing is you have to do is say, I do not consent. My answer to these mad, bizarre, I don't know even what to call them, things that these dark forces are doing, the magic word is no. Thank you, but no. When you say no, I am, and they will then say, well, I'm the prime minister, I'm the mayor, and if I say, like, you have to do, well, if I say no, and I'm not afraid of the consequences, what are you going to do? And if then I have like 1 million people or 2 or 3 or 30 behind me, and everybody says no, then you are pretty alone. I don't care about your title. I don't care about your fancy suits and your BMW and bodyguards and whatever fancy titles and you and here and you and there. You are powerless. When the people say, absolutely not. And that's where I say, please, come on, come on. So many people are getting hurt and killed and murdered. And and so horribly treated in courts, and it's all because we are silent. It's the masses are silent. And I just want to remind people, the law of karma is not only what you do, it's only also what you don't do. And in silence, that's where traders thrive.
Yeah.
You know, in the silence, that the silence is the danger. And countries like Germany here, for instance, you know how bad it can go if you do not react. You know. This is why I'm in Sweden. They have no clue. They haven't got a clue because they are neutral. But do you know what neutral means? It means just follow the wind. Wherever the wind blows, you go. So I was standing in the center of Stockholm the other day. I said, dear friends and comrades, we're here today to celebrate the memory of the nation Sweden, a nation of absolute cowards. And because Sweden, like let's go back in history. It's interesting to watch history. So in 1940 or 39, Sweden was very much, let's not show the hand again, but they were very much like this. Yeah. Willkommen, Mr. Sigmund, all of these Fritz and all of these names. Willkommen, willkommen. It's so good for our national economy to sell steel and coal and wood and whatever to the German war industry. Whatever Germany has been accused of, please put a big question mark. There's a lot of uncovering going on that the official story is absolute BS. Whatever the truth is, I do not know yet, but I know that the official story is not correct. Anyway, so Sweden said, bring it on, dear Mr. Fritz, and we will sell everything you want. And if you want to use our railroads, not a problem. You just go and occupy. No way, not a problem at all. We will be by your side. And then about 43, when Germany was starting to having problems, it was like, hang on a second, Mr. Schmidt, would you mind not talking about that? I used to have like a swastika on my arm and our little secret meetings. Could that stay between the two of us? Because at this point, I'm sorry, we have to cancel all contracts because Mr. Eisenhower is knocking on the door. So goodbye. Sorry, we don't mean this personal, but it's business. So bugger off. And then in come the Allies. And then from that point on, Sweden has been totally in the pocket of the Allies instead, the US and the New World Order. So it's like when I say, what kind of thing is that? You can get one of these from me because being neutral, what the hell is one of the most advanced weapon factories doing in Sweden? making landmines, absolutely super sophisticated landmines and other kind of crap that is aimed at maiming. Some of these landmines are even designed to not kill children, but blow their legs off, so that the families for years and years will have to nurture their child instead of burying their child, because it's more beneficial. You get more value for your money. I mean, is that disgusting or what? Excuse me, I just had to puke, because at least if you're a company like England or France, where they say, we don't give a shit about who we're selling to as long as we make money, fair enough, that's honest. I can respect that. I don't approve of you doing that, but it's fair, it's honest. Sweden, we would never, we will be the conscious of the rest of the world. We will look down at them.
Like Switzerland.
Switzerland. Switzerland is neutral. Well, we are so good, so we won't choose sides, but whoever you kill and plunder, bring it on. All the gold can stay with us. It's good for our finances. So, I mean, what can you say? Yeah. And then right now, why is Sweden so important is because in Sweden, you got Ericsson, owned by Wallenberg, which is a major, major force in the New World Order. It's a family that most people have not heard of, but they've been very powerful for at least 150 years, something like that. And their motto is ruling without visibility. And that is exactly what they're doing. So one of the companies they have is Ericsson, which is developing 5G. Big time, big time, big time. Also, they're world leading in the technology for digital transfers. So the very same company, indirectly that family, controls 5G, which is the necessary tool into smart cities where they can control us, and digital transfers. So also, like Sweden, it's fantastic. This nation of people with spines of jelly and no courage whatsoever. At least if you don't mess with down in the washing room, the Swede get very angry and write anonymous letters if some people have not cleaned the filters in the washing machines where they live or whatever. Then it would come anonymously. I'm so angry, but except that you do not. The normal Swede don't want to get into conflict. I'm not here to be rude. I'm just saying that's the way it is. So Sweden has been a perfect test run place for the elite for years and years. So they try out different agenda and see how far can we push it before the normal person reacts. And then, since Sweden has such a good reputation internationally, they just use Sweden as a poster child. So if it's good in Sweden, then how can it be a problem for Denmark or whatever? And so in this situation where the worst virus ever in human history appears and the rest of the world is lying in trenches trying to fight this, the Swedes are standing up. Bring it on, baby. Bring it on. We won't wear masks. We will be recommended to stay home, but we are free. So what, and when I speak to people here, it's like, well, I think we handle the situation pretty good. I'm quite impressed. We relax, we sit, we drink our cafe latte in the sunshine, we have a little Indonesian canela on top, and then check how our stocks in Bofors, the weapon industry, or the CCTV cameras, or the vaccine industry are going. It's going really good. I think we're handling this really fantastic. So when this happened in the beginning, I was like, Swedes who normally have like an airbag and a helmet on just to go to the daycare center, they're so safety conscious, Why? How come they're like the front Rambo battling this virus, just saying, no fear, we stand here? What was that? And then when you see what happened in Wuhan, like one of the first thing they did, the first we saw these videos where Mr. Dong Ji Wong had a virus, he had a bit of a sneeze. So they pushed them into building and welded the doors. That's pretty bizarre. Anyway, so the next thing they did was starting to disinfect the cash because the virus was spreading with the cash, they said. So what is the difference with Sweden than the rest? How come that the death numbers were so low? How come that the Swedes could walk around sitting in the sun, doing nothing and not dying? And so I was like, what the hell? So it was my tour organizer, Johnny Cash, that said, it's about the cash. I was like, what? It's about the cash. I thought, that is so spot on. And then just a week or so later, we started seeing in BBC and CNN, the Swedish wonder. What is it? They're sitting here, they're walking in the streets like normal people. They enjoy themselves. What is it? And then in the cashless society. So they're pushing and using Sweden to push it on the rest of us. Cashless, that's part of this whole new world order agenda, because they need to control the cash. They need to control everything. And anyone who is not aware of what's going on, read up on Agenda 21 and get your good night's sleep destroyed for a long time when you start seeing what they're up to. Holy crap, that is scary, scary, scary on steroids.
Yeah. We are at the eve of the US election. I'm pretty sure you and we do not have a dog in that race.
I have no idea.
Yeah, and but I have to say, for years and years, I have heard, you Europeans, you don't have your guns, you can't do anything. But now, funny enough, in this situation, countries that are totally disarmed are standing up by the millions and say no, whereas the US, yeah, I don't know. One chunk is busy shooting each other, then some are apathetic, and the other ones are waiting for the white knights, for QAnon and Trump to ride in and save the day. So I find that situation in the USA so bizarre. I honestly, I have expected a little bit more in terms of standing up to this bullying around, but nothing.
But Judith, how do we know? We are looking in media, we're looking on social platforms.
Yeah,
There
but
was
it is
there
not
was
that I do not have contacts in the USA.
I know, but I get reports from a lot of people where they are, and then I get a lot of reports but they're not. I tell you, the way I see it is like the one you've been waiting for when it comes to change.
It's you, yeah.
That's the one.
I know.
You cannot change anyone. It's like, I'm not here to persuade anyone. I don't go into debate. I'm not pushing anything on. I'm here to be of service. If whatever I know can be of service, great. If it's absolute bollock or bullshit, sorry, my language, I'm really going for it today. But then fine. If you listen to me, great. If you don't listen to me, great. But there is a difference, I think, with someone like myself who stands for peace and equality and love. That is what most people do, instead of, if I were there to lynch the bastards, kill them, let's burn the whole thing. There is a difference. So I think, ask your heart, what do you want? And then listen or be inspired by a person who represents whatever it is you want. If you having like, yay, baby, martial law and civil war, that's amazing, that I've been wanting that my whole life, then go that way. But most of us do not. So take the power back by not getting distracted. And whatever comes through the screen, it's always the screen in front of us, big, small, whatever, especially if it's called smart. By the way, that's a misspelling. It should be spelled EVIL, all the smart devices, because that's their way of getting to your mind and your subconscious. So the thing is, take a step back, look out the window. Is life hell, like I'm being told? I would say 99.9% of us, if we look out the window, it's a beautiful place. So what is going on? So stop filling your head with propaganda, because it's so hard to know what is what these days. We're being bombarded from all different directions. It's the biggest psychological operation ever unleashed on humanity, with very, very advanced technology. So you can't trust anything at this time. But what you can trust is your heart. Don't get confused by this one. Follow your heart and choose your actions from your heart. And the heart is very simple. It says, just like in the Bible, not that I'm religious, but there's like a few rules. Don't kill. That's a good one. Don't harm anyone. Don't steal. I like that. Don't lie. Don't go out and grab somebody else's partner. Just live the way that you would. If you're not a masochist, most of the people don't want to get hurt or in pain. So don't do harm. Live without doing harm. And in Raj Yoga, they're talking about the perfect action, which is something that brings no harm to anyone and some benefit to someone, yourself included. So the more we can live from that rule and just say no to bad things and yes to it. Most people don't have a yes or a no. It's like, because you need a strong no to have a strong yes. If you have a strong yes, which I have, but not a no, that means that you're weak in certain situations. So I'm training to get my no stronger. And then we can only pray and wish for the best. And I'm super optimistic. Have I any idea of how this is going to happen? End? It's never going to end. But the shift is happening. There's a massive shift going on. And it's almost like a drag race between good and evil. We're like at a gladiator arena. And it's like, the thing is, you can be up there sitting, judging, or you can join the party down there. Because the thing is, we are at a crossroads. We need to choose, who are we? Who are you, Judith? Who am I? What is important to you? Is it important to kill people? Is it important to rule? Or is it important to care for each other? Is it important to take care of each other? Is it important to stop violence? What is important? Are your children's or grandchildren's in the future, is that important for you, or doesn't it matter to you? We have to look ourselves in the mirror. And it's like there's this filtration going on where not long ago there were all of these different shades of gray. Now it's black and white. Yes or no, which side are you on? Life is just pushing us up in a corner saying, who are you? Who are you? What are your true colors? So it's a magnificent situation to make a stand, a personal stand. You don't have to do it by throwing rocks or screaming words at a demonstration. By the way, it's called demonstration. I don't think that is by listen to the words, spelling, how are words being used. There's a lot of things going on, like magicians, woo, 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 around us. So we need to clear that whole thing. And the word brainwashing, I love the word brainwashing, because that is what we need. We need to rinse this one, give it a really good cleansing, lots of soap and water, and get all of the crap out so that we can start thinking with a pure mind, with pure intentions, and then be part of creating a fantastic future together.
What do you think is the purpose of life throwing us into the corner and make us choose?
I think we're here to develop as spirits. I mean, this is like a boot camp. We come down here, we say that, oh, I want the Hollywood version, the pink and fluffy, I want to be happy ever after. The thing is, we would be bored to tears. We would be, oh, come on, give me a bit of trauma, give me a bit of action, give me a bit of that. But this has sort of excelled into a situation where suddenly, by us being led by our own desires and greed and ego, we've come to a situation where we lost contact with the rest of humanity, with nature, with everything. And while we've been so focused on building up our own life, I don't care about the rest, but this is my garden, this is my house, this is my future, this is my, that whole thing. We've let all of these super psychopaths let them go into and take over all of these key positions. So suddenly we're like, whoa, how the hell, what happened? Well, it was because we were too lazy and too up our own butt, with focusing on our own greed, that we let this happen. Because psychopaths are born psychopaths. You can't blame them. They are the way they are. And in the old days, they were perfect. You just, in the war situation, whatever, just send out some psychopaths. They're fearless and they don't really get it. So you can let them take care of the tigers or whatever. But now, in this sophisticated world where we don't have that type of threats anymore, they're not so good, because they will just go on and on and on. And they don't care. They don't have empathy. They don't have it in their system. So they will do whatever for their benefit. They think that they're doing the right thing, but they want to go down. I want to go up. I don't like hot places with horns. I prefer this one with wings. So it's like plus and minus on a battery. Up until now, this has really been necessary. And the darkness, it's like, if you do a film shoot, for instance, the lighting is very important to get it right. But you can't watch a movie in daylight. You have to make it dark so that you can see what's going on. So both of these has been necessary. But now I hope we're at a point where, this is my hope, that duality will stop, and that we will suddenly come to a frequency high enough to see that, oh my God, we're all the same. Why are we fighting? Why are we competing with each other? Why are we not helping each other? So I say, ego, bye-bye. Instead of I, me, mine, a minefield, I say, what can I do for us? How can, think of we. Lift it. And then do good, be good. And that's the way forward.
But not in the, let's say, it's something that is paraded around the collective good, the greater good, the virtue signaling, and you don't mean it in that sense. Yeah.
I did not understand that, Judy. Could you please
Okay.
repeat?
So now virtue signaling, for instance, is I'm a good citizen, I'm wearing the mask, so I am protecting the others. And the collective good, so I obey every single rule so that the collective can, you know what I mean? There is a very twisted version of this taking care of each other.
Yeah, but what I say is find the truth. Find the truth. What you're talking about is absolute manipulation.
Yeah.
The thing is, if this virus, for instance, was real, then somebody like me would be dangerous, and I would be harmful for other people. But if you find the truth, I've interviewed some of the leading experts in the world. I mean, I've gone very much into it. I spent 40 years trying to really understand these type of operations. From that point of view, what's going on here is a massive, big psychological operation, meaning evil in this universe will always present itself as good. It will always be like that. 180 degrees opposite what it really is. It has to present itself like something, ooh, just like Little Red Riding Hood and the wolf who masked himself as her grandmother or whatever it was. That's evil for you. So it will come very nicely packaged and then sneak itself in, and boom, once it's in, then it shows its real face. So you have to become very aware of deception. And I think we're at a point where everything is upside down. It's just totally upside down. So whatever we are being told is bad is good, and whatever we're being told is good is bad. So child care, authorities, these type of things are very often kidnapping children at this point. It's awful. It's awful. The police should be your friend. I'm sorry. They're there trying to control. I fear police a hell more than Hells Angels or Mafia, because with Hells Angels, they say on the, I am Hells Angels. Great. Then I know
what you're dealing with.
Yeah, you're big, you're got a big beard, you're like a bear, and sometimes you can commit horrible atrocities. Then I know who you are. But the slimy other ones that comes like, ooh, these are the dangerous ones. So the army should be there for us. Sorry, you have not showed that lately. They are now there, becoming more and more of a world army to control us, not to defend us. Same with the police. They're taking more and more away from individuals that have a good moral, a big heart, and more people are coming in as private contractors with almost identical uniforms. I mean, they're tiny little things, but they're private contractors so that they can rent people with no conscience. Brown shirts, it's the whole thing over again. And then the whole thing about how to betray each other, like in the old, Stasi methods, how infiltrators and all, it's that really trying to get it going. But I hope that people are becoming more and more aware.
Yeah. What is your feeling, to wrap this up? Many are saying no matter who wins this election in the USA, we will see unrest. Can you see that, or would you say no, everything will be okay?
Let me just polish my crystal ball. I have no idea. I have no idea. And I say, I don't even look at the elections because I'm more like, that is a major distraction for the whole world. So what is going on over here? When I look at Joe Biden, it's like, oh my God. When I look at Donald Trump, I have no idea. There's a really, really well-respected researcher, black man called Dick Gregory, who is a friend of Martin Luther King and Harry Belafonte, this guy. And before he died a few years ago, he said, please, folks, be aware there are two Donald Trumps, one with a red tie, one with a blue tie. And when you look at his actions, it's like this. So whoever controls media, and nowadays with these type of technologies that I described before, who knows what is what? What I can say is, please, Donald, get a better hairdresser. But otherwise than that, I don't know who this individual is. And QAnon And Q, is JFK Jr. alive? Is Diana alive? Is Michael Jackson? I hope so. That would be amazing. Do I put any kind of power of my personal power into hoping they will come and rescue us? No,
No.
I do my part.
No.
Whatever that part is, I try to do that. And then who knows? We are in unprecedented times. The world has never, ever been here. It's the worst and the best of times. And so we just have to surf the waves and hopefully something.
I totally get what you mean. And it is not that I'm observing the US election like 24/7. Let's put it this way. I keep an eye on it because whether I like it or not, it will have some repercussions for everybody.
I think it will have massive repercussions, massive, massive. So when the sun goes up tomorrow, who knows? Who knows? It might go like this. It might go like this. I'm right now on. We have escaped from Spain just before the doors closed, and who knows? I mean, we love being there. We love Spain. So it's a matter of we're sort of taking a step to the side, waiting to see what's going to happen. Because normally for many years I've had, like, if I ask a question inwards, I get a sort of like a feeling for right and yes or no. And most of the time that turns out to be correct. Here I have no idea. Since the whole Corona thing took us all by surprise, I don't know. It's up to us. It's like they've taken away the template. There's nothing to hold on to. Now we've been trained in boot camp called life, and we are at a point, it's like, now you have to walk without crutches. You have to stand up for whoever you are. And then they also say that this is a time where we need many souls with the same intention to make a difference. If we're only a few, we'll go down the drain, and that would be a yeehaw party for the dark ones. And if we do what is right and follow our hearts and stand up for what is good, then it will be goodbye, dark forces. So
that would also tie in that it's important to have a mental image of what you want to see, how people could live better lives. You have that mental image, you focus on it, and you feed that image. Would you say that's
so true, Judy? So beautiful. You know, Corona, it means crown, but also circle. And it's almost like this whole Corona. It's like we're in a roundabout and just driving around and have lost focus of where do we want to go. Everybody seems to be so focused. I just want to go back to whatever was normal. Please make this stop. Instead of seeing, okay, we're going around in circles. What do I want this world to look like on the other side? And then put the intention and your thoughts on how you would like the world to see. That is what makes it's a powerful change. So I would very much like to finish with a prayer. And it goes like this. May the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light. That is every single square millimeter or inch, wherever you are, be filled with peace and joy, love and light. May everyone, and especially the ones who hurt us, be filled with peace and joy, love and light. May the light of truth overcome all darkness, so victory to that light. The thing is, why is it important that they get this as well? Because they have indirectly, by being absolute assholes, been our greatest teachers. You know, the worst people in your life are the best teachers if you choose to see it like that. Is it fun? Absolutely not. Is it pretty horrible at times? Yeah, that's it. But you bought the ticket to this, whatever it is, matrix. It's the native Indians say that the souls that are down here are the strongest of the strong. We fought our way to get down here, and now to be part of this incredible time. And now we're like, ooh, but it's a bit scary. Well, get over it. You bought the ticket.
I want to have double fries with that one.
It's like, you bought the ticket. I mean, people it's a joyride. And people love going in these ones. It's horrible. I hate them. Other people like them. You bought the ticket. I bought the ticket. We're here. Deal with it. Who are you? That's the question.
Exactly. Ole, I thank you so much for coming on. Always a pleasure to talk to you. And I wish you all the best wherever you will settle in the near future. And I'm pretty sure if we are all still around, we will talk again.
I'm sure, Judith. It's going to be interesting because next time we meet again, major things will have happened. I'm sure there will be a major shift for the good or the bad.
Yeah.
And so it's up to us. What is important to understand is that the only way they can control us is through fear. And there's this beautiful thing about fear and the human mind is that you can only feel one emotion at a time. So you can't be super joyous and fearful. It just doesn't work. So fear, okay, where is fear? Is it underneath the bed? Is it behind the couch? No, the only place it is in your head. So your fear is not my fear and my fear is not your. I can scare you, but that just activates your fear, not mine. So my fear is only located here in the head between my ears. And it's always connected with something in the future. It's always something that has not yet happened. So when you look at it, it's an illusion and an absolute waste of life to be fearful, So make yourself proud of yourself. They say we're all gonna die. Okay, if that's the truth, then at least make ourselves proud. Let's make this a joyride and say, when the time comes, okay, goodbye, farewell, cruel world. Then I would have at least be proud of myself and feel I had a really good go. I did my best. I failed sometimes. I succeeded other times. But my God, what an adventure it was. And then poof, off you go. But until then, stand strong and say no, 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 and no, no, no. Yeah. It's not on. Stop it. There's so few, we're so many. It's an absolute joke that we even have discussions like this. It should be a joke. We should just, when they say do this, we should just laugh, turn around, take a beer, and enjoy our lives.
Yeah.
And now I will be quiet.
Okay, so this was it, Night Flight for today with the wonderful Ole Dammegard. We wish him and his family all the best. And until next time, and stay safe from tyranny and stay sound out there. Bye-bye.